Hello, kindergarten. Mr. Limburger here. And today you are going to start working on this really cool gumball machine project. We're going to be talking about shapes, circle, trapezoids, rectangles, squares. Got some really cool stuff. You're going to be cutting out a few things, doing some do-a-dot markers. Remember, you love those. Doing some shading and some really cool background designs. So let's pay attention, get ready, and we'll start working soon. Today, boys and girls, I'm going to introduce you to Wayne Thiebaud, an American artist who loved doing gumball machines, as you see here in these two paintings of gumball machines. Ice cream sundaes, look at that, delicious desserts. Donuts covered in glaze. More ice cream sundaes. Look at the colors that he used in his paintings. Cakes in rows and columns, and cupcakes. So today we're going to start making our gumball machine. To start off, boys and girls, you're going to have lots of stuff you're going to be seeing. Glue sticks, scissors, paper plates, gray paper, white paper, black paper, maybe some polka dots. You're going to have a piece of paper that's going to have a gumball machine printed on it. There's a bottom part to the gumball machine and a top part of the gumball machine. You'll be choosing the color of gumball machine that you want for your work. So our first thing is to cut out that gumball machine and get rid of that excess paper. Do not cut off the black lines on your gumball machine. You see how I'm cutting around that? Leaving that yellow paper there at the top of my gumball machine. It's kind of important to keep that there so you know where your paper plate's going to go. So I'm going to take the top of my gumball machine, slowly and carefully cut. Don't cut off the ball on top. Leave it on there so you go around that little circle. I know you can't see me doing that, but it's still there. So I'm going very slowly, cutting along the outside edge, leaving the black line on my copied paper. So I've got those two pieces cut out. I can put my scissors down, move my scraps out of the way. And I'm going to think about how I'm going to place my work onto my paper. So you see how that works. The top will go at the top, the bottom at the bottom. Before we start video here, we're going to add some color and designs to the back of our paper. We're going to be using some texture plates. They have textures on them. We're going to be using some crayons that don't have any paper. So you choose the texture plate that you like. Take some crayons without paper. You're going to lay it down in its belly. Whoop, mine just rolled away there. Put your texture plate behind your paper and rub on the top. You want to make sure you press down with that crayon flat on the paper. Move that texture plate all over to get that texture onto your paper. So you want to move it around. You can change colors. You can change texture plates. You can just use one texture plate, but you want the texture all over the background of your paper. This is going to make the back of your paper look really nice for your gumball machine to be on top of. So you're adding some background texture behind the gumball machine. So I've got some different colors going on now. As you can see there, kind of see those swirling circles and shapes on my paper. So now once I have my texture done, stop video here. Gluing down my gumball machine. So I'm going to take the bottom of my gumball machine, the top of my gumball machine, and that paper plate. So I'm going to take that paper plate. And you see how that paper plate fits right there on the top of that gumball machine where that little piece of paper we didn't cut off. I know it's kind of hard to see here, and I do apologize. So I'm going to put some glue along the outside edge of my gumball machine. Make sure you put plenty of glue there along the outside edge, boys and girls, outside edge. Not just a dot in the middle. That dot's not going to hold it down. Along the outside edge. And I'm going to put the bottom of that gumball machine towards the bottom of my paper. You want your paper standing nice and tall. Put it at the bottom of your paper. Now I know mine's sideways here, but I promise you it's at the bottom. And you'll see that in a few minutes when I turn my paper around. Rub on the back side to make sure it's stuck. It's not going to fall off. Turn it. Stop video here. Take my paper plate, So my paper plate's going to be like a bump. It's going to bump out. So I'm going to turn my plate over. And you're going to have some help putting some glue along the outside edge of your paper with liquid glue. Now I'm using a glue stick here, but as you'll notice later, it will not stick as well. So we're going to be putting some real glue, some clear glue along the outside edge. And that's going to fit right there on top of my gumball machine. Press it down nice and tight. Make sure it's stuck. Press around along the edges. Your fingers might get sticky, but you got table towels. You can wipe off your fingers. Not to worry there. Then you're going to take the top of your gumball machine, put some glue along the outside edge of it. And I'm not going to do it on top of my plate so I don't crush my plate there. Make sure you put plenty of glue. And you're going to put it at the top of your paper plate. And that's the top of your gumball machine. So that's touching the plate a little bit, so you can see how it's kind of going to bend up a little, just a little bit there. So we're trying to make our gumball machine look realistic, just like Wayne Thiebaud did in his paintings. So once that's finished, I'm going to start decorating the front of my gumball machine. So I'm going to take a piece of gray paper, cut out a circle, take a piece of white paper, and a piece of black paper. And these are going to be my pieces I'm going to add to the bottom of my machine here. I'm going to try to hold my paper down so I quit moving on me with my remote control, but it's still not working. So I'm going to slide my camera out of the way just a little bit, see if I can get some room there. So I'm going to put some glue on that white paper, and that's going to go at the bottom of your gumball machine, and you're going to cover up that little flap. So that's our flap where the gumball would come out. Now this gray paper, I want to fit a circle. So you're going to draw a circle there. Just do the best you can. You want to kind of fill in that circle, the bigger circle there on your gumball machine. So cut it nice and big. You might need some help, but that's okay. Try to do it your best. You're going to cut it out, and you're going to glue it down. On top of that, I'm going to put my glue on my gumball machine and press down that gray circle into that glue. Then we'll take that black strip. There we go. We can see a little bit better. Add some glue, and that's going to make your turn handle for you to turn when you put your quarter in to get your gumball. Now you're probably saying, where are the gumballs at, Mr. Lineberger? We want some gumballs. We're going to get there real soon. So to make the gumballs, we're going to use the dot makers. Yay! I know y'all love making dot makers. Now remember, the dot maker, we don't shake it, we don't squeeze it, and we do not bang it on the table. You're going to use your dot maker. Do not press down hard on your plate. You don't want your plate to collapse. So light touches. You can add as many colors of gumballs as you like. You want your gumballs to be kind of in the middle there of your paper plate. Adding lots of colors. They can be real close to each other, but you don't want them on top of each other. You want to see each individual little dot as one gumball. So you can fill up your gumball machine. Maybe you want to count how many you have of each color. Might be a good project there for you to do when you get finished. Is to count how many blues, how many reds, how many greens, how many yellows, how many purples, how many pinks you might have on your gumball machine. So you see I'm putting in some purple now. Making my gumball machine all full of gumballs. Now I'm going to use some crayons. I'm going to add a little bit of color along the outsides of my paper plate. This is a blue. That's going to add like a little shadow there. And I'm going to use some, I believe that's some yellow or orange on the top. Can't see it that well there, so I'm just adding color. Yep, got some orange crayons there. Adding a little color to the top of my gumball machine. Now, if you had a green one, you might want to use a little bit of green. If you have a blue gumball machine, you might want to use some purple. Just think about the color you want to add to your gumball machine to add some shadows onto your work. Now, you see there my gumball is a little bit different in this picture. I did try using pom-poms, but they just did not work. So we've changed it out to the dot makers, which is a whole lot better than the pom-poms. The pom-poms would not stay on my gumball machine.